This is my new Revibikes Cheetah Plus, and it is one of the coolest looking, most vintage style electric bikes on the planet. You can also see it has the $250 rack and fender bundle, and in the $130 saddlebags, I have some of my camera equipment for today's adventure.
And if you watch to the end, I'm also going to go ham on it at the skate park.
First, just who is this e-bike even for?
Well, it's a vintage style electric bike designed for riders who appreciate a unique, head-turning riding experience. Much like the rock and roll youngsters of the 1960s, people who like this e-bike might be less concerned with having the highest spec rideable and more concerned with having the best looking one.
All right, that ground's a little bit wet there. But don't get me wrong, the Cheetah and Cheetah Plus are spec'd pretty dang high, with 1200 watts of peak output coming from that rear hub motor. It's also for riders who want quality components. Things like
Tektro hydraulic disc brakes, a Shimano 7-speed mechanical drivetrain, and those brutally large 26 by 4 inch fat tires from Kenda. Because not only does it have a much better than average payload capacity of 440 pounds, but
once he's on the bike, between the tires and the low center of gravity and that hub motor, this thing is really easy to manage. It's also surprisingly fun to walk around with. When you need to stop the Cheetah, it's pretty easy with these brakes. Now this is a 180 millimeter rotor, which is plenty adequate for this bike's size and weight.
The brake levers also include motor inhibitors, which enhance safety by reducing stopping distances. The tank cover is made from leather, which offers a great textured feel. The Plus model is also heat stamped with the Revibikes logo, which I think adds a touch of elegance without being overly flashy.
And speaking of flashy,
it has a 2000 lumens moto-style headlight that not only adds to the vintage cafe racer aesthetic, but also features high-intensity LED chips that are more efficient and longer lasting than regular bulbs. There are even high and low beams. And of course, you know that means this thing also has a tail light. The Plus has adjustable height handlebars, a bright and legible LCD, a 750 watt Bafang hub motor that not only peaks at 1200 watts,
but helps deliver a claimed 28 mile per hour top speed, which we'll fact check right now. We have 20 miles an hour, 23, 24, 25, 25.8, 26, 26.4 on throttle only.
As well as a 17.5 amp hour battery pack that can deliver up to 65 miles if you baby it.
Speaking of which, I've actually been performing a range test since we began this video, in which I'm currently 11.5 miles into, and we're showing about 3 out of 5 bars left. Now stick around to see my final results. Now I should tell you that the Cheetah Plus you see here
is an upgraded version of the original Cheetah, so you might want to know the differences between the two. For starters, the Plus has an additional 2.5 amp hours of battery,
which should translate to 15 to 20% more range.
The Plus also has hydraulic disc brakes instead of mechanical.
The Crusade tires have K-Shield puncture-resistant casing. Pop, pop, whoop-pop, whoop-pop. And this is what the inside of the box looks like. Here is the front tire. It is a Kenda brand fat tire. The front disc brake is 180 millimeters, and they are spoked rims with a straighter valve. And the size is 26 by 4 inch with knobby tread. Cheetah. And here's the seat post. Dang, that's a big seat post. We also have this box, which we'll get into in a minute. And now for the big reveal.
Oh, it's heavy.
One of the first things I'm noticing is just how much longer this frame is than most of the electric bikes that I ride. And now let's get the rest of the zip ties. Ho, ho, ho. Look at that beautiful tank. Now let's spin it around to finish the unboxing. There's our nice little LCD. And one thing to note, this thing is slim. This thing is like an iPhone. We'll turn that on in just a moment. Rear swing arm. This mystery box with here's our headlight. It almost looks like a motorcycle headlight. All right, our pedals. Get those on in a minute. We have a sticker, a couple of tools, our instruction manual, and some kind of bracket, most likely for the headlight. And then our charger is branded D-Power. I think that's a D. D-Power, and it is rated for, it is a 2 amp charger. Ew. We'll get to putting this on later. Box 3, in which we have our fenders. Fender 1, fender 2, rear fender, and the front fender. The headlight grill. These are for the fenders. And the rear rack. Instructions on how to put on the rear rack. Oh, this is gonna take a while. And then I guess we'll figure out what this is later. It's some kind of tie-down strap. Don't need this, but we do need this. Try it again. Finally. We'll get that chain on in just a second. We have the Shimano Altus derailleur, and the Velo branded saddle has a pretty generous surface area. The rear disc brake is 180 millimeters. And presto, we have a rear rack. I'm not sure if I'm gonna ride with the pannier pack, but here's what it looks like on. Pull this out to get the brake lights to work. And you can turn the tail light on, and a little switch. It has a Bafang hub motor, and to turn the battery on, the switch is right here. And if we step into the cockpit, the handle grips are brown leather and they have lockers on the inside as well as the outside. Okay, let's turn the power on here. Up here we have our power reading in volts, which is pretty cool. Our speedometer, our time riding, our mode, and our pedal assist. To increase or decrease the pedal assist, just press up or down. And if you short press the power button when on, it'll cycle through eco, normal, and power mode. Oh, and when you turn it off, you get a nice goodbye. And then over on the right handle grip, we have a bell, little 7-speed Shimano shifter, and a quarter or half twist grip throttle. The brakes are Tektro, and we have the Class 3 e-bike sticker. Now I couldn't really find the recommended rider height for this e-bike, but I'm 6 foot even, and here's what I look like with the seat on the shortest setting. Here it is again with the seat on the highest setting. Believe it or not, it just started raining on us here in the Pacific Northwest. But up here at the front, you can see there are solid front forks,
which may increase range ever so slightly, but they definitely do not absorb shocks like suspension forks would, meaning the Cheetah isn't really meant for all-terrain usage.
And, useful fact, fat tires also provide a larger contact patch,
which improves grip and stability.
And again, I'm gonna ride this thing at the skate park in a minute to test that.
On the mechanical side, the Cheetah Plus uses a 7-speed cassette with a Shimano Altus derailleur that connects to the 40-tooth chainring crank via a KMC chain that is designed specifically for e-bike use.
The crank arms are aluminum and branded Pro Wheel. The pedals have reflectors and nubbies to keep your feet from sliding off. And the chain guard comes to a point, and the cadence sensor is located right here. My monopod. And this rack is also an accessory. It holds an additional 50 pounds and comes with these neat little elastic bungees to hold down your stuff. It's part of the $250 rack and fender bundle that also includes these
aluminum front and rear fenders that are powder coated with a black matte finish, as well as the grille that attaches to the headlight for added cool factor. Now in a moment, I'm going to take this bike to the skate park. First, I should tell you what I think about it. After all, it is a pretty pricey e-bike. But do keep in mind, if you use that first link in the description, you'll be taken to the most discounted price available, including $600 off for this Labor Day weekend. Anyways, what do I think? Yeah, it's heavy, it's hard to store, it's nearly impossible to transport in a car. But outside of that, I really like the Cheetah. It may not have those blistering 60-volt, 45-mile-per-hour top speeds that you could get in this price range. But then you'd have to worry about legal issues and even the cops chasing you, and nobody wants that. The Cheetah Plus has the perfect amount of power to have plenty of fun while staying well within the legal limits of a Class 3 e-bike. Now, before we reveal our range results, let's go check out that skate park. Skate park, so we're not going to do anything crazy, but let's just go ahead and ride it around and see what we can do. Well, there we have it. I managed to ride this thing around the skate park. And if we look at our range results, we're showing 15.5 miles. We have one bar showing. So at 15 miles, if I do the calculation right, we get around 19.5 miles of range. And so, after all of this, is the Cheetah Plus worth the price? Well, it's definitely not a budget e-bike, but what it is an experience. It's an e-bike built to cruise on and be seen on. If this video has helped you on your purchasing journey, be sure to tell the company that I sent you by using that first link in the description. It does help the channel grow, and it also keeps me employed. And I would also like to disclose that Revibikes did send this to me for free to provide my honest feedback and review. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on a ride today, and I hope you learned something. And most of all, I hope you found this video entertaining.